Good afternoon. How are you doing, my friends? Just a quick video to catch you up on where I am now a few days after at Charm Bracelet Marathon, my 4th ever marathon. Beautiful trail run from Redcar to Whitby on the Cleveland Way, North Yorkshire coast. So I thought I'd reflect on what went well, what made it challenging, the lessons I've learnt and why I'm excited about the future. Before I tell you my thoughts now, a few days later, let's go back to Julian in the past, the morning after the race, and see how he was feeling.
So it's now the day after. How am I feeling? I'm actually feeling surprisingly good. How am I feeling mentally after yesterday's challenge? I'm also feeling surprisingly good. I'm really pleased with hindsight.
So what went well? Well, the pacing strategy went well. I decided I was going to pace myself, not go out too fast like I've done on previous ones, stick to around 10, 30, 11 minutes a mile, or slower if I was going up hills, walk on the ups. And as far as the heart rate was concerned, if I found my heart rate getting above sort of 150, then I'd slow down and I'd walk. This wasn't a race, push yourself at all costs. This was, if you like, a tempo run. And that's how I approached it. So the pacing strategy worked for me, and I'm going to stick with that. Walking the ups, running the flats, running the downs, and trying to keep my my heart rate in a sensible endurance area. That notwithstanding, I do intend to be training a little bit more on the gradual up. So something like this here. It's not really a slope to speak of, but I need to be able to comfortably run up these all day long. And so I'll be working on that with my training going forwards. Also, I was really pleased with the nutrition strategy. So, as you know, I tend to steer away from gels. I find them expensive. And I don't like all the foil packaging particularly. I will use them, and I have used them, but what I usually do rather than gels is real food. And you hear me talk about my Snickers and my double deckers. These aren't full-size bars, by the way. I should just make that point. These are the smaller multi-pack ones. I think they're about 40 grams. They're a couple of 100 calories, 20 grams of carbohydrate. They're nice. I enjoy eating them. I like food. So what I did, I would have a double decker, then I would have a Snickers, maybe a Stokes flapjack, and then the fourth one of the cycle was a gel. So I try to eat every 3 miles. So that was the first half of the race, and then the same on the second half of the race. What about the aid stations though? Well, I'd eat whatever I fancied there. Generally I went for the high sugar sweets, because again they're nice. There's a boost to mood going on there quite nicely. One of the best bits about the run, and there were many, it was such a beautiful day. We were so lucky with the weather. On different weather that would be a very different experience, but the ups as you left the seashore and went up onto the Clifftops again, those were really steep, and it meant that nobody was running those. They were usually steps or you know, 20% gradient, so that people weren't running, which meant I wasn't running, and I didn't feel bad about that. That was really nice. So again, a bit of positivity. It's quite easy to let doubt creep in sometimes, but nice and positive for me. And then once we got up onto the tops, they were generally quite flat. Yes, there were these gentle gradients again, which I must get better at. I reckon I could have comfortably knocked half an hour off my time had I just been able to feel that my heart rate was in the right place to run those ups. I talk about it quite a lot, but your mental strength and your mental condition, how you're feeling in your head, is just as important at some parts of the run as your physical feeling. Certainly on the Riverside 20, I started to get a bit fed up. You remember I told the camera that at one point. So I think I need to just go into jog mode, but trouble with that is it gets boring. I want to go faster to get to the end more quickly. So this is where the mental battle really kicks in. So I'm pretending that I'm talking to you, but really I'm taking a break because I'm tired and a little bit fed up. And sometimes that can just be because of lack of food. Other times it's because you're just dwelling on stuff and you need to stop, take your mind away to somewhere else. And that's where me doing these videos really works, because it's quite easy for me to focus on what's coming next. What am I going to say? What am I going to talk about? What exciting, interesting fact have I got to share with you lovely people that's coming up? And usually for me, I actually found myself chatting to runners as I went along. There was probably half a dozen of us that were all within a few minutes of each other. We didn't run together as such, but we would, you know, you can see people in the back of the shot or in the front of the shot that were there the whole time. And that was lovely, and I had some long conversations with a couple of people. So what are my big takeaways? The first one is the pacing strategy. I think I got that right, and I will do the same again. I will run to feel, I will put the same amount of effort in up the hills as I do on the flats, and if I need to walk, I'll walk. But the main thing for me is to make sure that I eat appropriately to feed that particular strategy, and I think what I did last time worked quite well. So I'll eat every 3 miles, possibly more. If I'm doing a lot of walking, then I will eat more frequently than that, but every 3 miles seemed to work about right. So food was okay, but what about water? Well, it was great. I drank a bottle of sports drink, half a litre before I started. I had 1.7 litres in a bladder on my back, and I had a little cup with me, which meant that I drank between 200 and 400 mils of water at the 3 checkpoints. So there was a litre drunk there, half a litre at the beginning, and then I probably drank a litre and a half while I was out. So that was okay, but I didn't know if I was drinking enough, and that's the beauty about having bottles in pockets on your running vest, is that you know how much water you're drinking, whereas if you've got a bladder on your back, you can't tell. So there's my main takeaways. Nutrition was right, mindset was good, water strategy was okay, but I didn't check it, didn't have means of checking it. My training was okay, but I do need to work on those long steady hills. Overall, I'm really pleased. I'm proud of what I did. And now where am I going with this? Well, I've got 3 events coming up in the next 3 months, as I mentioned in the video. May is the Leaden Boot Challenge, June is Pembrokeshire Coast, and then July is the 50k Race to the Stones Day 2. So May's run, Leaden Boot Challenge, is marathon distance, but it's a walk. Now I might jog some of it, but it is billed as a walk, and I'm going to take it as a walk. It's got 4,500 feet of ascent in, so probably getting on for twice what we saw on this one. It's in the Staffordshire Dales, and is going to be absolutely beautiful. I'm going to use that to really push my endurance, you know, that part of my fitness. So I want to be out there walking. I'm not going to get it done in less than maybe 9 hours, so it's going to be absolutely perfect. I'm going to do a lot more walking, possibly walking with poles in training over the next 4 weeks. So that's what that one is there to do, really continue to build that base. Then 3-4 weeks after that, I've got the Pembrokeshire Coast. Now that's going to be a beast. That is 22 miles, but it's organised by the same people who did the Gower Peninsula run that I did 2 years ago, if you remember that one. If not, that is a video well worth looking at. That one took me 7.5 hours that time. It's my longest run in time. Yeah, so that one will be about legs and a lot of ups and downs. So whilst I'm going to be building on base for the next month, I'm also going to really work on my leg strength, so that by the time I get to the Pembrokeshire Coast, we've got some strong legs to be working on too. So then hopefully by the time I get to the Race to the Stones, I will have stronger legs, because there will be some steep ups, I will have a mindset that can cope with being out for 9 hours or more, because that's what I'll have had to do on the Leaden Boot Challenge. And I'll have got my fueling strategy down to a T. So that's where we're at. That's what I'm looking forward to. Next 3 months all mapped out. Oh, and I'm doing a little 10k near Peterborough in May as well, I signed up to. Thank you so much for joining me on this little one. There's my reflections from the Charm Bracelet Marathon, what went well, what made it challenging, lessons I've learned, and why I'm excited for the future. Got plenty coming up, and I really hope you'll be able to join me on some of those. So until then, thank you so much for joining me. Ta-da now.